So, Dad, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I wanted to,
don't fall down the hill.
if I wanted to find the best car price,
Yeah, I don't know. I would get on the internet and I'd go find the bestcarprice.com/insider. And you know what? I'm sure Jeff and his team, even out here in Western North Carolina, have gathered and compiled all the manufacturer incentives for all the different vehicles. Yeah, there you are, Zach. Because everybody was wondering, what the hell happened to Zach? Well, I threw him off the cliff. Okay.
We're invoicing you for that, Jeff. That's funny.
Find the bestcarprice.com/insider. Tell them Zach and Ray on their trip across America sent you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just magnificent.
Hey, you run any market price reports recently?
No.
So we added. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. What
No,
were you gonna say?
but I should have.
Yes, exactly. We added the OTD calculator.
The out the door?
The out the door calculator. So
Okay.
now when you run market price reports, I'll put it up on the screen. You can now also run an out the door quote right there with the suggested offer as the selling price, the doc fee, the estimated
All
doc.
on the same page?
Well, it's like 2 tabs, but yeah.
Oh my God! All the same website?
There it is.
All on the same computer?
On the out the door page, it'll have the selling price, the estimated doc fee, the sales tax, the title tag, registration, all right there for you, so that when you go to the dealership, you can have a sense for what your OTD price is before they even tell you. So there you go. We built that in for you for free.
Ooh, if it is for free, it is for thee.
So, Dad, today
Yes.
we're talking about
Yes.
some recent
Something that's not free.
Yeah, very much not.
Yes.
Title of today's video is going to be something like, is Cadillac going bust? Something to get the clicks. But
Yeah, because we're all about the clickbait.
the
We
clickbait.
admit it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Now, this actually has some substance, which is 150 Cadillac dealerships
Yeah.
are closing.
Yeah, they've opted to.
They've opted out.
They've opted to take the cash instead of investing more money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
maybe you can share with us, or I can tee it up and then I guess you can give the perspective. How's that sound?
Well, either way.
Cadillac asked their dealers, all 800 or so of them in the nation, they said, we're going electric, you need to invest $200,000 to build out chargers and this and that and this and that. And if you don't want to, we'll pay you $300,000 to $500,000, depending on how much volume you move, to quit.
Yes, to give up your Cadillac dealership, and for Cadillac to close down that point, and Cadillac to no longer be represented in that particular marketplace.
And 17% of the dealerships said, all right, we'll take your money.
We'll take the money. And the reason those 150 dealerships have decided to take the money, more than likely they're smaller and they're in more rural communities where electric vehicles aren't going to be that popular, and whatever electric vehicles would be popular probably wouldn't be nearly as expensive as the Cadillacs would be. So it's the future of bringing this new technology all across this great country is going to cause some dealers to say it's just not worth it for us to invest $200,000 in these chargers because, well, they're hardly ever going to get used. The return on that $200,000 investment is going to be a negative.
No,
amount of money.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it also kind of reminds me, or makes me think about the whole franchise dealer structure is meant to create localized monopolies.
Yes.
Right? So that in a geographic area, you have to go to that dealer.
Yes.
And the idea is that they can set the prices and whatnot. It kind of reminds me of what I'm listening to or seeing here with the Cadillac news. What happened to Subway? Subway, with all their franchisees, I mean, Subway's the most franchised
It's the largest
franchise in the country,
Yes.
in the world.
Yes.
And, you could go 3 blocks and see 2 Subways.
Yes.
And you kind of create this issue that, you're cannibalizing your sales. And so, for example, when we did the negotiability study, which we'll link to down below, we saw, like, in the Chicagoland area, there's 7 or 8 Audi dealerships in a 60-mile radius.
And that's why
all the Audis are negotiable.
Are more negotiable than in other areas because the Audi has decided that they wanted greater market representation than maybe the market really needed.
And so that's what I think of here when I see that 17% of your dealer base can just up and leave. And you know what? That's probably a good thing because they were oversaturated to begin with. Now,
Yes.
as a car buyer, it becomes a little bit trickier because I used to have maybe 2 dealerships I could shop against
you
one
have
another.
you have less opportunities to find the vehicles that you want and to compare pricing from one dealer to another. Now, in a perfect world, in a perfect world, if we ever get there, where maybe there wouldn't be a difference in the price of a vehicle from one Cadillac dealership to the next Cadillac dealership because everybody's got to sell them for the same amount of money.
Yep.
Then that wouldn't matter. Then you wouldn't care that your local monopoly is gone because
Everything's
it's
the same.
it's the same price whether you bought it here or you bought it somewhere else. But we're not in that world yet. No. So if you cut down on the number of dealers, and if there's a 17% cut in the number of dealers, then that's going to mean the 83% of dealers that still exist, there's less competition for them. They won't have to discount the cars nearly as much. So it should increase their profit margins and make them more profitable.
And we kind of saw this already earlier this year when there was just a dearth of supply.
Yes,
Your
dearth, one of my favorite words.
Seriously, like the Wall Street Journal wrote this whole article about how the industry loved it because profits were higher than ever before.
Yes.
When there's less supply and there's like less options for the consumer, then they can just retain their prices and someone will finally say, okay, screw it, I'll buy the car or the truck or the van.
Well, eventually, for instance, with the Kia Tellurides and the Hyundai Palisades, lots of people wanted those vehicles, and lots of people said, well, I'm going to wait. And then a lot of those people who said, I'm going to wait, said, I'm not waiting any longer. And they just bit the bullet.
It just takes one. It takes one.
Yeah, and they bit the bullet, and they went out, and they know they paid too much, but they went out and they did it because they just wanted to get their car over.
And so I'm kind of seeing some parallels between the lack of supply and that was being very, that was very profitable for the dealers that had supply. And then we're seeing like a lack of supply because we're going to reduce the number of dealerships at our region. That'll probably boost profitability. And so it is kind of interesting. The perfect world is the price is the price and you don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
It's going to be a long time before we get there because there's hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars tied up in the existing model. So that's going to take decades to break down. Tesla's trying to break it down. Other people are as well. But it's still going to stick around. But this is an interesting development, though, in that direction.
Well, yes, and Cadillac understood that they had too many dealerships to begin with. And there were too many Cadillac dealerships in rural areas that might have been selling 30 or 40 or 50 new cars a year. And in a lot of those areas, it wasn't just a Cadillac store. It would be Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Chevrolet.
It's like what you see with Chrysler, Dodge, Ram.
Yeah,
It's like
the Cadillac portion of that conglomerate in that small town might have been responsible for 40 or 50 new Cadillac sales. Well, that's nothing to Cadillac, and they realize that if there's 40 or 50 people in that area that really want a Cadillac, they'll drive a little further to go get it.
Yep, and so it's by 2030 Cadillac sees having a full EV lineup, and so you're going to see I'd imagine even more consolidation within their lineup of dealerships and across the nation. There's no need to have 17,000 franchised new car dealerships. It's insane. Although, when we've been driving cross country, it's like everywhere you look, there's a car dealership, independent lot, franchise dealer. So they're everywhere.
And one of the things we've noticed in we drove past a place that had a lot, but didn't have anything on the lot. There was a lot of asphalt and there weren't a lot of cars covering it.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible situation for a dealer to be in, where they need inventory and they have no inventory. So
you only make money when you're selling cars.
Last time I checked. When you're in the car business, yes. Well, maybe when you service them.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, Pops, thanks for running through this with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.